Welcome back, trainer. So we're going to be going over the fact that we may be seeing the return of Mewtwo sooner than you think. In a shiny variant, I don't think so. In an armored form, possibly. And I'm going to give you the evidence as to why. So in my last video, I said something along the lines of, this seems a little weird, the dates that are lining up, that I gave no mention as to what it was. But a few of you did leave that comment below, giving that hint to what I was talking about, or just coming up with your own conclusions. So we're going to actually go over that right now, and let's see what you think of this whole situation regarding Mewtwo coming into Pokemon Go in its armored form. Yes, I know we've talked about this before, but we're going to go over the dates, seeing that we now have them before us. Now, if we go over to the news here, in the most recent deal that they did give us, if we go down to Groudon, it'll show the times here from June 27th to July 10th. Okay, from July 10th. Perfect. So let's remember that date. Let's go ahead and take a look at another image here and see what we have for the release of Mewtwo Strikes Back. So here we have an image from Mewtwo Strikes Back, as well as the release date for the Japanese theaters, coming out July 12th for them. As to when it's going to make its way overseas, as it says here, it's unknown. We'll just have to wait and see. But honestly, I am definitely going to go see this because I saw the original one in the theaters back when I was in 7th or 8th grade. So good times then, and I definitely will be going the first day it is released here, possibly. So we have Groudon leaving the raids July 10th, and then this movie comes out on July 12th. That's 2 days in between, possibly enough to promote the whole Mewtwo armor for Pokemon Go and any sort of other promotion for the movies, much like we saw for Detective Pikachu. Now I could totally see that happening. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, it's premiering in Japan, what's the benefit of it? You know, we're not all going to be able to see it. That's just going to be mostly a promotion for the Japanese. Well, yeah, maybe, but they might start it off over there and then have the Armor Mewtwo spread out for everybody else for possibly a special research. That or in the raids, okay? So what do you think? You think it's a possibility? I'm pretty sure that this is what it's pointing towards, guys. And if that wasn't enough for you, we have a little bit more evidence to go and take a look at here. Alrighty, so we're over here on Trails' Twitter. You may have seen me talking about this a while back because it was released back in April 6th. This is a guy who kind of goes through the information within Pokemon Go to bring us things early. And that's how I can make a lot of these videos, bringing you stuff before it actually happens, right? So we have Mewtwo A Intro, and Mewtwo Normal. What could possibly that A stand for, revolving around all of this? Pokemon spawns may include forms. Okay, so I'm thinking the A is going to obviously mean armor. What could this even mean? Coming into Pokemon Go. So all of these things pointing up to July 12th, around that time is when we just may see Mewtwo coming into Pokemon Go with this armor, as well as picking up a new typing. We're going to actually go and look at a Psychic and Steel type to see exactly what it's going to be weak against, as well as talking about possible stat changes to Mewtwo. Alright, so originally Mewtwo is going to be weak to Bug, Dark, and Ghost types. So it will be dropping a couple of those, as well as picking up a few more new ones here. And that is going to be weak to Dark, Fire, Ghost, and Ground. Now it's going to be resisting Poison quite a bit, as well as Psychic, being a Psychic and Steel type. And then also resisting Dragon, Fairy, Flying, Grass, Ice, Normal, Rock, and Steel. That's quite a big list to be resisting there. And I also think it's going to be picking up a little bit more on the defense end, dropping an attack, and also picking up on the stamina end as well. So it's going to become a lot bulkier. It can last a lot longer in the fights. Currently, right now, it's pretty good as it is. I don't think it's a glass cannon whatsoever. It can hold its own, as well as dish out massive damage. And if we did see a decrease in attack, and if you're thinking, well, I don't want a Mewtwo that's decreased in attack, yeah, alright, I get it, I understand, but you have your regular Mewtwo's. Why not have a new one that's going to be picking up all these resistances, as well as some bulk, and possibly some new moves, Steel typing moves. Maybe it'll learn something else other than the Steel types. But that's what I'm just assuming. With all of that armor on it, I have these images here on the side. I don't know what design they're going to go for, the original anime or possibly this newer one for the movie that they are releasing. It looks like a transformer. It's pretty funny. So those are my thoughts on it. As far as how much on the stats, let's go ahead and take a look at Mewtwo stats general here and make a decision on that. Okay, so we are over here on the Go Hub, and I get a lot of questions as to what app am I using to check their stats like this. Well, you have to go to the Go Hub site, and it will prompt you to download it. If you're on iOS, I'm not too sure if it'll work on that. I'm on an Android, so let me know. But basically, the first time I ever used it or received this app was going into the website, and it just automatically asked me to download it, which I did. Simple as that, all right? You can't find it in the Google Play Store at all. So it is going to be a pure psychic type. And like I said, if it did get that armor, it would be picking up that steel typing. And currently it's sitting at 4,178 CP. So if you don't know by now, the higher the attack weighs, then the higher the CP is going to be. It determines between all three stats here, but mostly the higher the attack, the higher that CP is going to be. That's why Slacking's CP is so massive, because it does have an outrageous amount of attack. So I think the attack for the armor form would possibly drop to about 250. You're thinking, wow, that's quite a significant drop. It is, but let's talk about the bulk end here. I think it's going to be going from 182 defense to about 250, and stamina is going to be probably around 275. And if you're thinking, well, that's a little bit bulky, don't you think? Yeah, maybe a little bit of an exaggeration, or, but I'm just throwing out random numbers here, guys, because I'm just kind of trying to give you the general idea as to what to possibly expect. And this is kind of what I do on this channel, like these little predictions, right? So that's what I think might happen for it. And like I said, also picking up some possible steel type moves, maybe Meteor Mash, possibly Metal Claw. Are these things going to make it good? I don't know. Maybe, depending on, what specific grade you're going up against. It could make it an extremely strong steel type attacker, although it's still probably going to be outclassed by Metagross for sure. But nonetheless, it's still going to be an awesome Pokemon to have for this little promotion movie that they do have coming out here. And like we originally went over, it is going to be premiering in Japan, and we have no release dates for the rest of the world, but that's okay. Like they did with the original Mewtwo release in Pokemon Go, it started in Japan. That was so crazy, guys. You remember that? Remember how we were waiting for Mewtwo so long? Niantic, when are you going to release it? With an iron fist. And they did, and we all went bananas. And then the EX rays came out, and how horrible it was. I mean, personally for me, I got invites every single time because I was hitting those rates. And I know people who are hitting those rates to get that EX invite, which they still didn't. But nonetheless, what I'm trying to get at here, we're going down a whole different road here. But how would they release it? Not EX rates. Not EX. They're probably going to, not do that. Not for a promotion. Either you're going to get one of these Mewtwo, or they're going to throw them in a raid. Personally, what I would like to see is a special research. I don't want us to have like 7 of them, all right? I want it to be special. I want it to be something that we look at in our inventory and we only have one of them. And if you're thinking, well, what if I get a horrible IV? I mean, that's, if it's coming from a special research, it can't go below a certain specific IV, but, it sucks if you get a bad one. But nonetheless, I personally have gotten bad research breakthroughs, special research breakthroughs, and, it is what it is. You move on. Can you trade this Mewtwo? I would say yes. It's not a mythical, right? So we'll just have to see. But then again, you can trade the Spiritombs, right? And they did come out of a special research. So, sit a little food for thought here. And could you imagine a Armor Mewtwo Lucky? Let's go. Now, regarding a shiny, do I think we will be getting a shiny form Mewtwo? I don't think so. It's a possibility, but I'm not going to throw that out there too much. I'm not going to really be leaning on the shiny, more towards the armor form. And last but not least, I see the comments all over the place on Twitter, on my videos, people saying, where is shiny Rayquaza at? We want that shiny. Hey, guess what? Niantic knows you want that. Niantic knows we all want it. And it makes sense. Well, they're releasing Groudon and Kyogre. Rayquaza goes alongside it. Why not release the shiny form now? Seems like a good time, right? Well, I have a feeling that they're going to do the shiny Rayquaza sometime around New Year's. Probably Chinese New Year's. I don't really know what they're waiting. Well, I know what they're waiting for, the perfect time, and then they're going to drop it. And my gosh, we're all going to go bananas. They're probably going to have some massive sell of raid passes in the shop. And you know what? Hopefully they might even release it with Dragon Ascend. its signature move, but highly doubt it. How I think they're going to release the trio here with their special moves is possibly through a raid day, maybe, I don't know. That would not really be fair, because what if you couldn't attend that? You're going to be missing out on a massively good moveset for each one of these legendaries, right? So let's hope it's not a raid day. They're probably going to get their special time, and we'll yet again see Kyogre and Groudon making a return, yet again, alongside Shiny Rayquaza this time. So there are my thoughts on why they are releasing Groudon and Kyogre again. Well, honestly, I mean, there's new players all the time, right? And I completely understand that. I'm not going to sit over here like, why are they releasing them again? Because obviously this game is attracting new trainers every day, and they have to have an opportunity too. Just because us vets over here are sick and tired of seeing the same ones over and over again doesn't mean there's newer players that they need to cater to as well. And if you're thinking, well, we're their old time, people, they should just throw it in a research task or something like that, and they can get it at the end of the week. They'll probably have their time sooner than later, but you have to understand, a lot of new players coming in, and they don't have their shiny as well. Getting it through the breakthrough once a week could just be very tedious, and you may not get the shiny. When they release it in a raid, they have the opportunity to invest some money into the game if they so choose to, buy a bunch of raid passes, and go out there and raid their heart out. Granted, if they do have a community to raid with. If you're rural and you don't have that many people, I'm really sorry. It's a rough time out there, right? And I'm not mocking you in any sort of way, really. But anyways, there you go. There are my thoughts on that, and why they didn't release Rayquaza. They're waiting for the right time. Of course, they're not going to do it now. We have GoFest and all this other stuff, and it's going to be towards the end of the summer. But I think Mewtwo armor form is going to be taking the spotlight, and then after that, I really couldn't tell you what we're going to see yet. But there you have it, traders. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will be catching you all next time. Take care.